Hi there, my name is Kirsty Bortoft and I'm a mindset coach, a meditation teacher, and the founder of a method called the Freedom Alignment Method, which is a technique that addresses the root cause of emotional, physical, and mental pain. I basically specialize in stress, human behavior, coaching, and meditation. And today I'm here to share with you some top tips on how you can deal with potential stress and fear that you may be facing right now in this time. I also want to give you some top tips to ensure that your immune system is firing on absolute all cylinders right now so that you can ensure that you have the best chance of moving through this period with ease. So what is stress? Well, interestingly, human beings are unlike any other species on this planet, in the fact that we trigger the stress hormone out into the mind and body in one way that no other species on the planet does, and that is through thought alone. So what does that mean? It means that you could be sat in your front room watching TV, perhaps it's the news, or perhaps you're just watching a movie on Netflix, and the mind starts to wander into a different moment. It starts to either go back into the past and thinking about potentially things that have gone on in the last few weeks, or it wanders into the future and goes into a state of what ifs. Using your imagination in a negative way, it starts to spiral out of control, generally creating scenarios that are tragic and also scary. So it might be that currently it's grabbing information from the news, from what people are saying, and creating situations and scenarios in a future moment that don't feel good. So what happens is your subconscious mind has no idea what's reality and what's not. In fact, it's the most unjudgmental part of your brain that you have. It literally does whatever it is told. So if you are focused on a situation in a future moment that isn't actually happening now, but it's one of fear, it's one of scarcity, it's one of feeling like something really bad's going to happen, almost like a feeling of dread, what happens is it signals the body and says, look, little Johnny is under threat, because it doesn't know that that scenario that you're focusing on isn't happening now. So it thinks that you're under threat, and so therefore it wants to protect you and keep you alive. So instantly it goes into attack mode. And how it does that is it floods your body with the stress hormone. The stress hormone is cortisol. And cortisol is like an incredible hormone, because if you are under threat and you do need to run for your life, what it does is very quickly it saturates every cell of your body so that your physiological side of you starts to shift, your pupils dilate, your heart will increase. In fact, the blood vessels will constrict and push all the energy down into your legs and arms so that you can run and get away from that potential threat. It doesn't know that when you are using your imagination in a negative way, that that's not happening now and that you're not being chased by a tiger. And so what happens is two things. When you are under threat, you need all the energy, right, to be able to potentially run away from that tiger, because the body doesn't know that that's not what's happening. And so it needs to collect as much energy as it possibly can to ensure that you can get away and you will survive. So it looks at you as a whole and it goes, right, okay, what's taking up the most energy right now? And guess what does? Your immune system. You can imagine like running your immune system is going to take a lot of your energy in a 24-hour cycle. And so in that moment, if it's a case of your immune system being lowered or you being eaten alive by a tiger, then obviously you're going to choose to turn your immune system off and run from a tiger so you can save your life. However, the truth is that you're sat in front of the TV watching EastEnders, off in a future moment in your mind, scenarioing in a negative way, and your body still is reacting like you need to run for your life. So what happens is the immune system gets turned off and reduced. All the energy from that gets put into survival, and you then have all the power to be able to run for your life. However, you're now sat there watching TV, starting to feel incredibly weird. And it's like your physiological state doesn't match what's going on in your environment. And so more thoughts start to arrive like, oh my goodness, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling overwhelmed. and it's like you don't know how to switch it off. So it feels like awful. And this is when a panic attack can potentially happen. So what do we need to do? Well, first things first, we need to remember that we have total and utter control over where we put our attention. It's fine if you want to watch the news and get updates on what's going on, but just limit yourself to how much fear you are putting into your body and mind. Because the truth is that if we do not know how this is going to unfold, which none of us have got a magic kind of ball that can read the future, then there's no point putting our attention on potential hazards that have not happened yet. A great saying that my spiritual teacher said to me once: if it's not here and it's not now, do not worry about it. What's the point? You can only deal with what's been presented in this moment. And let's face it, our minds are so good at creating the worst case outcomes that it's worse than living in a horror story. So don't choose to go off into that moment and use your imagination in a negative way. Choose to come back to this moment right now and deal with things as they are, not worse than they are. And limit yourself to how much input of negativity and fear you are actually absorbing in a 24-hour cycle. So my advice is, do not spend the whole day watching the news, okay? There will be conflicting information. It will feed your mind with lots of negativity, and potentially it will also feed your ability to want to go into the future and create outcomes that are disastrous. Your body won't know it's not happening now, and it's going to send you into that anxious state. Number 2, in order for your immune system to be firing on all cylinders, right? Now, we have the most advanced kind of troops, if you like, of cells in our body that know how to keep our immune system firing on all cylinders and how to keep us really healthy. And this is called IgA. And what happens is when we are under a lot of stress, the IgA gets switched off, which is your troops, your internal troops that keep you protected. They protect you against viruses, they protect you against bacteria, they protect you against anything, which means that if your immune system is firing on all cylinders, it wouldn't matter if you were around somebody that was ill, because the virus, the bacteria would not be able to penetrate through the cells and get into your system, because your army are so advanced. They are way more advanced than any vaccination would ever be, right? But in order to ensure that your immune system is firing on all cylinders, you need to make sure that you're not focusing on fear and stress, because that's the first thing that's going to switch it off. Now, in short spurts, short moments, it's going to be fine. If you do experience some anxiety or you do experience something that's quite threatening for a moment, it doesn't matter. Short spurts of that is totally fine. What we don't want is you living in long periods of time in a state of anxiety and stress, because this is when you are going to compromise your immune system. So your immune system lowers, and then you're open to catching anything: coughs, colds, tonsillitis, you name it. So what you want to make sure is that you keep your immune system firing on all cylinders, and that starts by you focusing on things that empower you. So limit yourself to how much negative TV you're inputting into your life. Also, create a daily plan. So what I mean by that is daily rituals, little schedule. One thing that motivates human beings is feeling like we're developing. So when we feel like we're kind of doing something, we're growing from it, it makes us feel fulfilled. It makes us feel like we've got purpose, and it makes us feel happy. So if you are finding it difficult right now to kind of determine one day from the next, and the motivation's gone and you're feeling a bit exhausted, then it means that you need to look at a very simple daily schedule. And that should consist of having a time that you wake up like you would normally, even if you're working from home or you're furloughed. You get up, you should do 5 or 10 minutes worth of meditation. If you're not sure, you've never meditated before, then go to thebrightpath.com, and there's lots of free bits on there. Or you can download an app called Insight Timer. There's lots of free bits on there for meditation. Or you can go to YouTube. There's loads and loads of things out there these days. You need to move your body 10 minutes at least. I've got a really good friend who's got a great program, which is a 7-minute a day program. He's called garthpeters.com, which is GARTH PETERS.com. I'll put all these links on the bottom anyway. If not, go to YouTube, but you need to move your body, meditate, drink water, and get outside and get some vitamin D. Now, I know that
I found you. Disconnected.
I know that we're limited at the moment to how much outside time we can get, but make sure you do your daily hour exercise outside. And if you have any outside space, whether it's a doorstop, outside your door or outside anywhere, just make sure that you can get outside and get some vitamin D, because it will make you feel good. And then finally is a focus on gratitude. Okay, it's a weird time right now, I get it, but you can shift your literal state of how you feel by choosing to focus on things that make you feel good. So wake up and do an attitude of gratitude. It only has to take you a few minutes. You can literally take pen and paper and write out 3 things that you're grateful for and the reasons why. Now, it's important that you put the reasons why, because this is going to stimulate your brain into an upward spiraling state and make you feel good. It's the opposite to stress. It's like an antidote. It will help you feel more alive, more aligned, and more awake. And it's important that you take control of your health right now, because no one else can, right? And it starts by you taking the first step of making sure that you realize that you have a choice of where you are putting your attention. So stop putting it on negative what ifs in a future moment that haven't happened, and start putting it on things that are empowering to you. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you go to my website at kirstybortoft.co.uk, I have a free masterclass on there, which is about 15-20 minutes long, that specifically gives you 3 points that will change your relationship to anxiety and stress today. If you go on there, you'll get access to that straight away, free of charge. Also, I have a Facebook group Facebook page called the Mindset Coach, and a group called Dealing with Anxiety and Managing Stress. And I have lots of free programs on there right now, all about managing stress. So if you want more help, then do reach out. Otherwise, of course, you can also reach out if you want to chat to me further. I do offer a discovery session, which is about 45 minutes over Zoom, where I'd identify kind of your main blocks and help you shift that one-on-one. But other than that, have an amazing day, and remember that you're the powerhouse. You get to choose how healthy you are, depending on where you put your attention. So do not settle for second best. Have an amazing day.